sat in the back of every meeting, heard every word about grace, about love, about a God who sets the captives free. But when the meeting ended, he was still a slave. Onesimus belonged to Philemon, a wealthy believer in Colossae. And though the gospel was preached under that roof, Onesimus was treated as property, not a person. So he ran, he stole what he could, slipped out of Colossae, and disappeared into the chaos of Rome. But freedom wasn't waiting for him there. In the Roman Empire, a runaway slave was a dead man walking. Every shadow was a soldier. Every stranger was a threat. One wrong move, and it was chains, a brand, or worse. He was free and utterly terrified. Rome was the last place you'd expect to find the Apostle Paul. He wasn't preaching in a temple or leading a crowd. He was under house arrest, chained, limited, waiting. And somehow, that's exactly where Onesimus ended up. Paul could have turned him in. Instead, he talked to him. Not about his crime, not about his master, about a savior who paid debts he didn't owe, for people who deserved nothing. Something broke open in Onesimus that day. The man who ran from a Christian household finally met the Christ he'd only heard about secondhand. And for the first time, he wasn't running. He was home. Hess stayed with Paul, not out of obligation, but out of love. The fugitive had become a son, but Paul knew something Onesimus didn't want to hear. Real freedom isn't just leaving your past behind. Sometimes it means walking back into it. Paul sent Onesimus back to Colossae, back to the man he'd wronged, the house he'd fled, the life he thought was over. It took everything Onesimus had to take that road. He wasn't going back empty-handed. He carried a letter. In it, Paul didn't demand. He appealed. "Receive him," he wrote, "not as a slave, but as a beloved brother." And in a move that stopped everyone in their tracks, Paul offered to personally cover whatever Onesimus owed. He put his name on the debt so Onesimus wouldn't have to. That letter is now a book of the Bible. And here's how we know Philemon said yes. The letter survived. It was kept. It was treasured. Because something extraordinary happened when a forgiven man met a man willing to forgive. That's not just ancient history. That's the gospel in action.